Wake up, Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up.
Morning to you.
And let me joining saying to all of you today, good morning to you indeed. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Barbados for today, Tuesday. Yes, I said it, Tuesday, December the 28th, 2021. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming those of you here in Barbados and across the world, watching us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook streams. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to apologize for the missing of our news this morning owing to some technical difficulties we've been experiencing here at the CBC. We do apologize sincerely to you for that. But coming up on Morning Barbados today, we'll get to meet the author of the book, Did Santa Wear a Mask? And that book was written simply because her son asked the question, will Santa wear a mask? The author of that book will join us to talk a little bit more about that and what it means for all of us. In our pediatric care section, we'll be talking about fevers in children. I know a number of you would raise an eyebrow about that because when the child is sick and it's roasting, how overly concerned should you be? We'll talk about that with Dr. Gillian Birchwood when she joins us here in just a little while. And as we had promised on Friday, we never got to do, we'll share with you Christmas in Ghana. And when you see it, you'll realize that while there's some similarities, there are a whole host of differences. The celebration is electric. And so when we connect with the Ghanaian Association of Barbados, we'll be talking a little bit more about how they celebrate Christmas in Ghana. Let's get started this morning, however, by having our conversations on CARICOM. And as usual, joining us this morning to talk more about CARICOM is Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Commichon. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Good morning, Pearson. It's a pleasure to be here, as usual.
Likewise. I hope you had a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, restful and meaningful, spiritually uplifting.
Excellent.
How about
Well
you?
done. I did. I got fatter because it's also a time of merriment. I ate to my heart's content, but that's what it's about. We had a good time, and that's what's important as well, spending time with the family. And speaking of spending time with the family, let's spend time with our CARICOM family because there's so many things that unite us as a family of CARICOM members. So we want to celebrate that today, especially through our women. Our women are doing phenomenal things in CARICOM.
Yes, well, we are coming to the end of the year. We are in the holiday season, and I thought it would be a good time to look at some of the accomplishments, plural, of the women of CARICOM as we, count down to the end of the year. So I would like us to focus on three CARICOM women. And the three would be our very own Donna Ford, who is currently the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Barbados. The second one would be Dr. June Suma, our sister from St. Lucia, and our first female Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett. So let's home drums beat first. Let's start with Miss Ford. And the good news is that
Yes.
Our Deputy Permanent Secretary has been appointed an Assistant Secretary General of CARICOM. She will have responsibility for CARICOM's foreign and community relations, and she will take up her post from February of next year. And she is a very distinguished Barbados diplomat. Prior to becoming Deputy Permanent Secretary, she was our ambassador in Cuba. In fact, she is credited with actually opening the Barbados Embassy in Cuba. And she's also served Barbados in the United States of America and at the United Nations. And prior to that, She worked with both the OAS and the UN in Haiti. So a very experienced, she has a command of several foreign languages, and she is now going to be the principal advisor to CARICOM on foreign affairs. And so we really want to congratulate her. And we have to note that I think she's the first Assistant Secretary General with responsibility for foreign affairs and community affairs. But Barbados has had a distinguished record of leadership in CARICOM. In fact, the very first Secretary General of CARICOM was a Barbadian, Mr. Fred Hosier. And also we have had Dr. Curly King, who served as Secretary General. So she is continuing a very proud Barbadian tradition, and I think we want to congratulate her, and we want to wish her all the best.
Absolutely.
Because it's a very challenging position that she has now entered, being the principal advisor on foreign affairs.
But that must mean a lot because it's the first, and it speaks to how CARICOM views its leveraging of its placement within the foreign world. And so why do you think that is now, that they need to appoint an Assistant General Secretary for looking specifically at foreign affairs? Why do you think?
No. This is a regular post.
Oh.
In fact, she will be replacing a very distinguished Trinidadian diplomat, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because we really should acknowledge the work that Assistant Secretary General Colin Granderson of Trinidad. He has held that position for some 20 years now. So he has given very, very distinguished service to CARICOM. So Donna has some very big shoes to fill. but we know our Donna, and we know that she is more than and capable of doing just as good as Colin. But Colin distinguished himself and served this region faithfully for 20 years. So he deserves our thanks and praises.
Indeed. So from February, she takes up her position at the CARICOM Secretariat, and certainly she'll be doing Barbados and the region quite proud as well as she completes her tasks. But there's Dr. June Sumer of St. Lucia, and for a lot of Barbadians, is like, who is she?
Well, she's almost a Bajan. In fact, although she's St. Lucian, she's almost like an adopted Bajan. And she distinguished herself by being the first, gaining the first PhD in history, the first female PhD in history at the Cave Hill campus. So she has had a long association with Barbados. Her family is deeply connected with Barbados. Her nephew is Chris, the musician in 2 Mile Hill, the bass player.
Okay.
Yes.
Chris Clark.
So her family is very deeply connected with Barbados. But Dr. Sumer is a very distinguished regional diplomat. She served as St. Lucia's ambassador to CARICOM and to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. And having done that, she then moved on to being the first female Secretary General of the Association of Caribbean States, where she served 2 terms as Secretary General of the ACS. And many Barbadians know me as the ambassador to CARICOM. But I would like Barbadians to also know that I am also Barbados' ambassador to the Association of Caribbean States. So I had the distinct pleasure of working with June when she was Secretary General of the Association of Caribbean States. In fact, Barbados chaired the Ministerial Council of the ACS when June was Secretary General. So we have first-hand knowledge of what a dynamic leader she is. And June's new accomplishment is that June was just elected a member of the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. Now, this is extremely important. This is a new body that has just been established by the United Nations to have an eagle eye on human rights issues, issues pertaining to people of African descent all over the world. And the establishment of that UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent is a direct achievement of the 2001 United Nations World Conference Against Racism that Barbados and CARICOM played such a big role in. So in a sense, this is one of the fruits of the World Conference Against Racism, and we now have this permanent United Nations body that will be there to intervene when the issues of human rights abuses against black people anywhere in the world. And this is important not so much for our CARICOM countries, but there are countries in this world where black people are a minority, and some of these countries are very racist countries. I mean, there are countries where black activists face assassination almost on a daily basis. So I was part of a CARICOM committee that was charged with finding the right candidate to go up for elections for a position on this this new UN body, and we selected June, and we were very confident that in June Suma we had a candidate that was going to be successful in the elections. And so I have the pleasure to inform you, Pearson, and the entire listening audience that she won her election to that five. She was contesting for a seat on a 5-member component of that forum. And so it's a great tribute to her and to CARICOM that we and she was able to win this seat. The other members are United States of America, Kenya, Egypt, and Costa Rica. So she went up against the whole world,
right?
And she was able to win her seat on that United Nations body. And we know that in June Suma, the African people of this world will have a very fierce defender, because she's really a no-nonsense woman, and anything that is not going right, you can bet Dr. Suma will pick up on it.
Well, congratulations to her indeed. And the third woman we want to celebrate today is, of course, our new Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, who's already hit the ground running and making some very profound speeches.
Yes, well, Dr. Barnett, we really need to celebrate Dr. Barnett as we come to the end of this year and we look at the achievements of CARICOM, because she's a first. She's our first female Secretary General, and she took office in August, and she issued an end-of-year message, and where she listed a number of the achievements and a lot of the work done by CARICOM in 2021, and I would say yes, she definitely has hit the ground running. I think the where she first made her mark in September was with that first Africa CARICOM Heads of Government Summit, building the relationship, the partnership, I would say, between Africa and the Caribbean. I would also credit her for helping CARICOM to move forward on the issue of Haiti, and to very boldly step forward and say, look, we are willing to take responsibility for Haiti. We are willing to intervene to help to craft a Haitian solution to the crisis that Haiti now faces. I think she played a very critical role in ensuring that United Nations Security Council meeting on Haiti took place, and that it was well supported by CARICOM. And it's now really only for the entities in Haiti, whether at the level of the government or at the level of the major civil society bodies, to reciprocate and to reach out to CARICOM and our Secretary General and to say, look, we would welcome your intervention, please come. And I think that is what we are waiting for. but Dr. Barnett has really set the stage for it and has taken along CARICOM with it. Because in the past, CARICOM has been a bit diffident. The
Yes.
issue of Haiti seems so big, but she has shown exemplary leadership. And in her end of year statement, she recapped a number of the challenges that we have been dealing with for the whole year: COVID-19, the vaccines, our responses to those challenges. And she reminded us that our CARICOM Commission on the Economy, led by Avinash Prasad of Barbados, has played a very important role in outlining how we should respond to this COVID-19 crisis, including our demand that the IMF issued a new issuance of special drawing rights to help bolster the finances of countries all around the world. And that was a success. We haven't spoken about that much. I mentioned it, I think, the last program, that the IMF issued $650 billion in new special drawing rights. And all of the CARICOM countries benefited, including Barbados. Barbados benefited to the tune of just over 90 million US dollars in special drawing rights. The CARICOM initiative at food security, agricultural production, the special ministerial task force on increasing food security, the special working group on a collective tourism policy for the entire region. These are some of the responses that CARICOM has made to the COVID-19 crisis. We are now negotiating with Flow and Digicel for a single domestic ICT space in the Caribbean, where we're going to get rid of all these roaming charges.
Yes.
So what we are saying is the CARICOM region must be one single space. So Dr. Barnett listed a number of the challenges, but also the responses to those challenges that she will be carrying forward into the new year. And I think that we already have a good sense of how capable a leader this is. We have a good sense that CARICOM is in very capable hands as we go forward into 2022. And I must say that I am looking forward to the new year as Barbados' ambassador CARICOM. I am looking forward really to redoubling our efforts at building the single market and single economy, working with Prime Minister Motley, who has primary responsibility for the single market and single economy. The last year and a half, we've had the challenge of COVID. It was all about COVID. How do we respond to COVID?
Yes.
How do we get vaccines? All of the protocols with COVID. Then we had Suprair, we had Elsa, we had the earthquake in Haiti, we had the Haitian crisis. But come January 2022, I really want us to redouble our efforts on completing the construction of the single market and single economy.
Right.
And Prime Minister Motley, Dr. Carla Barnett, we have work to do.
Ambassador, we're going to leave it right there. Again, thank you so much for highlighting the fact that we have these three outstanding women in the region who are representing the region very, very well, and the promise of a brighter future ahead once we follow their lead as well. Ambassador David Commichon, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, thank you, sir. And again, in advance of everything else, Happy New Year to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearson. Wishing you a very happy and productive and prosperous new year as well. And to all of our listeners.
Appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Barbados Ambassadors to CARICOM, His Excellency David Commichon. We'll take a break here. When we come back, Christmas in Ghana. Stand by for that. It's exciting. We're back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I must tell you, I don't understand a word they're saying, but it doesn't matter. The music is just so sweet. Joining us to talk a little bit about Christmas in Ghana right now is Edward Amankwa. He is the Arts and Culture Committee member and also a member of the Ghana Association of Barbados, and Isaac Larbi, who is the secretary. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning,
good
person.
morning.
First off, what were they saying while they were singing?
Okay, this song is kind of we normally hear this song when during Christmas, right? It's only during Christmas that you hear some of these songs, and it's a Christmas song.
It's a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. It's a Christmas song. Now, when I started, I said to folks, there's a lot that we do similarly. We go shopping, we enjoy the lights at Christmas and all of those kinds of things. We have the Santa Claus. But there are lots of things that are different about what you do to celebrate Christmas in Ghana. So let's start with you, Isaac. Tell me a little bit about how Ghana celebrates Christmas.
Like you said, we share a lot in common. Typically, Christmas starts from 20th of December until the first week in January. During the first week, you would see parents usually at the market trying to get stuff for their children. Now, that's also the period where parents prepare for the celebration. On the eve of Christmas, there are a lot of activities, mainly church activities. Mothers will get new stuff for their children. They decorate their homes. Unlike you have here, you will not find many Christmas trees in our homes, but in our own way, we decorate our homes.
What do you use? What do you use to decorate your homes?
The same stuff you have here.
Okay.
But you would see the electric lights arranged in a way that look beautiful, the same way you have here.
Very nice.
Yes.
Edward, Go ahead.
You only find the big trees, the Christmas trees in churches, banks, shopping malls, and other big places, hotels.
Right.
That's when you usually find those.
Okay. Edward, what I saw just now felt like a carnival. Would I be correct in describing it as such?
Yeah, as Isaiah was saying, prior to the Xmas, we have a series of programs, I think on the 21st, Billy Man of Jamaica was in Ghana with some of the Ghanaian artists, and they were, kind of having some programs. The video was there, Westgate was there, so it was kind of, it's kind of fun, more of a carnival. Those people with masquerades, right? That usually happens on the 25th. And it's usually at the western side of Ghana. That we call that place the oil city, because actually that really has all the resources, right? Cocoa, oil, everything.
Wow.
So they have kind of defined the Christmas in their own way. They wear those dresses.
Yes.
And we have a whole lot of people moving, from the west, from the north, from the south, everywhere to that place just for that activity. And it's a one-day activity, right? So they usually start in the morning. Morning around 7 they start, and it's a whole carnival. It's a whole float, right, with brass band and a whole lot. It's fun. You have kids, you have the old, you have the you have the beautiful, you have the ugly. I mean, everybody is in there.
Everybody,
Yeah,
even the ugly is in there. That's fine.
everybody is included, right? The MPs, the ministers, everybody. You know, it's something. It doesn't matter
Yes,
whether you have money, you don't have money. It's Christmas time,
it's
right?
Christmas
So you just
time.
have to, just be on the street and do what you're supposed to do. After Christmas, you go back to and do your own activities, man.
Isaac, what is the general food eaten at Christmas in Ghana?
It's our local traditional food. For instance, what you've heard of the fufu. Yeah, many homes in Ghana enjoy fufu with chicken, goat,
Hmm.
basically these, lamb and others. There are other local staple foods that we also enjoy, and then a variety of dishes made with rice and what have you. These are what mainly we enjoy. You know,
Yes.
there are different tribes in Ghana, and each celebrate it differently. They have their own local food, so
Hmm.
it differs a little bit from one another.
So the tribe you're from, Isaac, is it different? Is it different from Edward's tribe, or are you of the same tribe?
It's different.
So what tribe
But
are you from?
I'm from, there's a large group we call the Akan, and under that, mine is the Equiapem. Yes.
And so
And
how do you, your tribe, celebrate Christmas? And I'll come to you, Edward, next. Hmm.
on that same day, we typically enjoy fufu. All right, fufu with our soup made with
Soup.
chicken or goat, and then a variety of fried rice.
Okay. Soup, fufu, chicken. Okay. And Edward, what about you? What tribe are you from?
Okay. As I was saying, when it comes to the large, at large, we are all Akans, but I'm a Kwewu, right? We are the only tribe, we live on the mountainous areas, right?
Oh.
We are the only tribe. So, we are exceptional people, right? And we don't, we don't usually celebrate Christmas. Ours is Easter, right? So, when it comes to Ghana, Christmas is the whole of the country, right? But when you come to Easter, it's only concentrated in my place. That's my tribe, right? So you have to promise me this Easter. I have to take you there so that we will bring live videos to my
Yes.
fellow Barbadians. Remember, I'm a Barbadian now with African accent, right? So you just have to get that.
Yes.
Anyway, during Christmas, we do certain things in our. As I said, we don't usually celebrate Christmas, but in an own way, we don't normally work in our. We travel from our place to the big cities. So during Christmas, you just have to come to the village or you come to your town or something. You just kind of give money to your parents, your uncles, your nieces, and you go back. We don't normally, have so much fun, on the mountain. But ours is it. But then, as it it goes, Christmas is after that you have your 25th, you have the carnivals and stuff. So some of them will move from the mountainous areas down there to come and join them in the celebration. So
Okay.
mine is Easter, and Easter I have a whole lot of things to give to. Remember, I'm sending you down there. So
Right. So we'll have to connect with you again at Easter for sure to get a
sure.
sense of how you celebrate then. While you were here in Barbados, Edward, let's start with you. At December 25th, our Christmas celebrations, what did you miss most about home?
Or, I was here last year, and last year because of the COVID, I went to town and, the whole place was quiet. I was like, it's Christmas time and, I'm not seeing, anybody,
Yes.
and this time to, as a nurse, I've not gotten time to go out, I have COVID patients to take care of. So I have not really feel of the Christmas. But I think last year was better than this year, right? Because I could see, many people in town, some band, trying to kind of perform. So I think this year in a way was better than last year. But what I really miss much, is the carnivals, right? Where we have a large number of people. You meet your old friends, your seniors in school, your juniors in school. You hook up, you ask what's going on, any business deal, anything,
Yes.
anybody sick, you kind of go and give help, those things. And back in our country, if you have money, your money is not for you. It's for the whole family, Because
Yes.
we don't live in isolation, right? When you are down, someone comes to support you. So that's the time we have some families coming together. They have to sit down and kind of what's really going on in the family, in the development. And we have some towns too. We have some towns they choose to call them. You remember in Africa, we are governed by the government and by the chiefs.
Yes.
Right? The government, they do their own. The chiefs, they do their own. So during Christmas, some of the towns, some of the cities, you have some the how do you call it, the rich, going back to the society to give back to the society, right? That's where they have festivals. Some of the towns will kind of have a project they would like to embark, right? So let me say we have the chief of Azumi, we have the chief of, let me say, St. Michael, will call all the people, will sit down and they will plan. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to do this for the poor. You're supposed to do this. Maybe this is our project for the next 10 years. And we have people coming together, building community centers, building a whole lot.
Yes.
Right? So that was what I missed, because to be frank with you, like by now, I would have been in a place where maybe planning for for the town, just something, right? Yeah. So that was what I missed. I missed that connection with my friends, where we sit, we bring money together, we help people, we bring money together, we help other people.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Wonderful. Yeah. What about you, Isaac? How was Christmas for you here in Barbados, and what did you miss most about your Ghanaian experience?
Well, last year I did not enjoy it because I did not really feel it. There was nothing out there. In Ghana, usually everywhere you go, you would hear the traditional carols being played all over. You will see shops, you will see a lot of people in town. You would feel the vibe. You would actually feel Christmas is in town. But last year, there was nothing. And this year, it seems much better. At home, I live far away from my family and from home. So usually I travel to my hometown just to be with the family. And over there, it's a time for reunion. All the other siblings will travel together and we would convene and make merry. It's beautiful. And there are a lot of programs and shows that do go on during the Yuletide season, especially church services. I miss those a lot. The way we celebrate ours, I've actually not felt it here.
Yes, I understand. So, we're different. We're learning from each other, and that's what this whole cross-cultural exposure is all about. And so I'll take up your invitation. One of these times we'll experience your own culture there, and you'll experience mine here. So we'll cross in that kind of way. But generally, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Edward Amankwa and Isaac Larbi from the Ghana Association of Barbados. As always, gentlemen, it's really good to connect with you. And feel free always to connect with us here at Morning Barbados as we learn more about each other, the differences, the similarities, and enjoy our cultures together. Thank you so very much.
All right, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. You're welcome indeed. As we go to break, take a little bit more, another look at how they in Ghana celebrate.
La la la
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock now, time for you to get on the phone. Yes, indeed. We have a Crumbs question of the day today. Today is Tuesday, so call me now on 228-5562, 228-5563. Time for today's Crumbs Bakery question of the day. Simple question, easy so. In this Merry Men song, what line comes after I've got that old feeling, ... What comes after that? I've got that old feeling. So call me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563 in this Merry Men song. What line comes after I've got that old feeling? You fill in the blanks thereafter. So call me, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I trust you've enjoyed all of your Crumbs Bakery products over the weekend. As you celebrated over the holidays, I trust you've enjoyed your cakes and all of those baked products as well from Crumbs Bakery. So, 228-5562 or 63. Good morning, hello.
Hello, pleasant good morning to you, person.
Pleasant good morning to you too. Thank you so much. What's your first name?
My first name is Sonia, and how was your Christmas?
Oh, Shade, girl, you asking me questions?
Sonia.
Oh, Sonia, you asking me questions for true?
Yes?
Guess how my
You
Christmas...
get to ask the question.
Because I'm always asking. So guess
Yes.
how my Christmas was?
I think it was fantastic.
Why would you say that?
Because you will make sure that it's because you're extra. You're like that.
I'm like that. You
Yeah.
you know me well, Miss Sonia.
No,
You think you know me really well. I listen to you. Talk to me. You think you know me that well, right?
I know, I just assuming.
You're assuming so. Fair enough. So listen, I got to talk to you some. So how was your Christmas? What did you do?
It was great.
You realize I didn't answer your question, right?
I realize it.
Girl, you can't trick this old dog at all. So what did you do at Christmas?
Well, this is the first Christmas in 20-something years that I didn't cook. But
Really?
my sister sent me food, and, my friends took me out. And, from my birthday, October to now, I got to really say a shout out to my little sister, Alana, my mom, Teresa. I know they're going to be like, why are you calling our names? And my best friend, Renee. And, last night they took me to
Right.
Oysters. She and her sister, Tonya.
Wow.
All my girls. And Big Sons really love y'all, guys. Y'all make me feel really special from since October to now, and I really appreciate it.
That's sweet, Sonia. That's sweet.
And I
Now
love
listen.
my CBT family. I must stop forgetting Nicole, because I'm going to be my saints. Nicole is very beautiful. All the DJs and stuff. I was with CBC for years, so I always got
Thank
to
you.
pick up CBC. Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia. Good girl. You're a good advocate indeed. Now, Sonia, don't dilly-dally. What's the answer? What's the answer?
I've got that old feeling that's ringing through the air. It's Christmas in my Caribbean land.
Stop.
And it'll trick us.
Stop. Say it again for me.
I've got that old feeling that's ringing through the air. It's Christmas in my Caribbean land.
I've got that old feeling that...
Ringing through the air.
You sure?
I've got that old feeling.
Da.
It's
Sonia,
an old song.
you got that right. You messed up some words, Sonia. I'm ashamed of you.
I've got that old feeling. It's
That
Christmas cheer. It's
Wrong.
Christmas in my
Wrong.
Caribbean.
Sonia, stop.
Yes.
You're wrong. But thanks for trying. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the year. Sonia, big, bold, and wrong. 228-5562 or 228-5563. After a lovely chat, I thought she had it. I really thought she had it. Let's see. Good morning. Hello. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Thank you very much. And how are you today?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Y'all asking a lot of questions of me this morning, boy. What's your first name?
Alicia.
Hi, Alicia. Do you think you know the answer for me?
That lingers in the air. It's Christmas in my Caribbean land.
Alicia, you sure?
Oh, yes?
Sing it for me.
I'm not a singer person.
No, but try to say it. Try to say it. Let me see if you got it right. Go ahead.
You're putting me on the spot right now this morning.
You got that right because you're singing the wrong song. You are singing the wrong song, Alicia. Thank you here? No. That was the wrong song. I don't know where she got those words from, but it's certainly not the song. I know. 228-5562 or 228-556. Who would have thought that this would have been so much fun? 228-5562 or 228-5563. In this Merry Men song, we'll take one more call if we can, please, because time is ticking so quickly. What line comes after I've got that old feeling? Good morning, hello.
Good morning.
Sir, how you doing?
I'm going fine.
Oh, great to hear. That means you had a Merry Christmas.
Of course.
Oh, what makes it so, of course?
Well, I have some, what do you call that thing, right thing again? Have some, no, what is the name, what is the name again?
What you had?
No, curry goat, and I have, what's the right thing name again?
I don't know.
You drink.
I don't know.
I have some,
Sorrow.
Sorrow, that's
Yes.
right.
You had a good time. You had too good a time.
Too good a time.
But listen, there is nothing like curry goat, huh?
Curry goat, yeah, you know that too.
It is. Hello.
Yeah.
I've been around a long time. Yes, I know it.
Of course.
Really, really good. I have a Vincentian friend who does it really well. And I mean, when she brings it, it's like, wow.
Yeah,
love
man.
it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
what's your first name again?
Anthony.
Anthony, you think you know the answer?
Of course, man.
Before you tell me the answer, sing it.
I've got that old feeling that seems to fill the air. It's Christmas in my Caribbean land.
Whoa, Anthony, well done. You can sing, man. Anthony has won. Wow. So, how come you know it so well?
Well, I
You're
like
a
the
merry
Merry
man?
I love the Merry Man. Yeah, I'm just checking.
Oh,
He's good. He's good. He's very, very good. Yeah.
I thought you were a merry man. Thank you
Oh,
so
that's-
much.
Oh, Merry Man also, you know.
Well done, Anthony. Stay on the phone. We'll take some more details from you. All right, Anthony, congratulations. Okay. Anthony was spot on. That seems to fill the air. It's Christmas in my Caribbean land. So to our other callers, those ladies who got it dead wrong, da and da. Anthony got it right. All right, 17 after the hour. We're going to take a break right here. When we come back, we're talking more on Morning Barbados.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Woman who has listened to her son, and she's written a book as a consequence of the innocence of her child when he asked, Mommy, will Santa wear a mask? Her name is Chasand Gregory. She's the author of the book, Did Santa Wear a Mask? Chasand, good morning to you.
Morning. Good morning to you.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Your son brought it out of you. Did you get a chance to say, thank you, son, for bringing me along this path to write this book?
I actually did. I realized how important it was as a parent to actually reach out to my son and give him that hug and to say thank you. I've been doing it ever since.
Wow, it is, and especially boy children, because oftentimes we assume that they're tough enough, but they, like anyone else, just need a little bit of attention and some support as well.
Absolutely.
So talk to me how it is as a parent. You're parenting some sons, because boys are not easy.
I tell you, it is not easy. They are busy boys, but I try to make sure I can utilize some strategies because of my teaching experience. I try to bring those in my parenting life to actually create some balance. And right now, my living room is set up with all the boxes from my book that I've it's shipped out. Those boxes now is created as a tent. So when they wake up in the morning, parenting can be fun for them. So it is not easy, I must say, but they realize how I'm helping them. And my older son, he said, I understand what you're doing, mommy. And I remember playing a song for him. You can be anything. It's like a song, if caterpillars can fly, so can I. And he realized that he loved that song and asked me to play it over and over for him. So those are some strategies that I've used to make parenting a little bit easier with raising boys, because, man, it's not easy.
That's wonderful. Now, you are the founder and chief executive officer of J-Chess, the Jag Brothers. What does all of that mean? J-Chess, the Jag Brothers.
J-Chess is my first company that was inspired by my older son. It's a line of breastfeeding maternity products for moms. And also Jag Brothers, it's actually my son's initials, J-A-G. And I've put them together to call them the Jag Brother ever since they were born. And now we are actually creating lines of products for children to inspire and empower them. So those are some elements that I've put together with my first company, J-Chess Designs, and the Jag Brothers, is to actually create products that can actually inspire children. And I actually created a coloring cape that children can actually use, and families can be inspired that from the story, there are elements from the cape that children can color and remember some of the words like teamwork, empathy, compassion. And it's a reversible cape with the Jag Brother logo to inspire children and their families.
We're taking a look at it on our screens right now. Are these your boys?
Yes, those are my boys, the Jag
Look at
Brothers.
Our little superheroes right there indeed. And so the cape allows the children to be creative and wear their creativity as well. So it's more than just doodling for fun. It's actual wearable, and they feel the result as well. So when the question was asked, Mommy, will Santa wear a mask? I'm sure it caused you pause. It's like, oh my goodness, how do I respond to this child? Because one, Santa's fictional, and how do I still make it a teachable moment out of this? So what does the book teach?
Yes, so the book, actually, the intent of the book was to answer my son's question while reinforcing those precautions that families can take to stay safe. And within the book, I've also mentioned in a creative way how children actually can work as a team, and the result of working together. As we can see, the world was upside down, but what can we do when we work together to actually curve and to end the COVID-19, which we're all waiting for the world to go back. So I've created a mixture of Santa and real life events with the Jag Brothers, how families can actually utilize it as a strategy to inspire them and their children. So these are some elements within the story. I included some fun Christmas songs that families can actually share within the story as they're reading it. So there are so many different elements. Be brave throughout the story. Even with the Jag Brother, when he actually saw Santa, he was like, Santa, don't be sad this year. I know Christmas is different. So it's to teach children what it means when someone is going through a hard time. And even during the story, I've made sure that they brought a gift to Santa. And in real life, the story is actually showcasing to children when someone is in need, what can we actually do to take care of these people in our community. So the Jag Brothers, in real life, we're actually going out in our community every month. We're going to different charities, just creating a little box to help families and their children. So this is an element within the story that I wanted to make known, that even though it's a Christmas book And I've also received really good results and feedback from principals and to come over in the new year to share the teaching elements of this book, because they realize that it's not just a book for Christmas. This is a story and a memento of the pandemic that's worthwhile sharing as well.
And it also, children have such a capacity for empathy. It is just not funny.
Yes.
And here it is, the book is showing that how they can express that empathy. Oftentimes we just want a hug, and while a hug from a child is like heaven, at the same time there's much more that they can do to those they can't hug, because the pandemic says we can't be as touchy as we often are, but there's still something we can do. So the book is, while it's a great storyline and we see the adventure of the Jag brothers, it also is very practical and applicable to everyday living. And that's what I think is so phenomenal about the book. So where can people get a copy today? Because I'm sure they want now a copy of your book.
Yes, the book is available on Amazon, Chapters, Indigo, and also Walmart. And the book is also available, author signed copies are available on my website, chesandgregory.com, CHESANDGREGORY.com.
Wow, this must really feel good to you, Chesand, to know that your boys are featured and they've inspired you in this kind of way to write this beautiful book. Did Santa wear a mask? That's a question, but the answers are within the pages of that book. Chesand Gregory, it is such a wonderful, look at you, holding your book so very, very proudly, which tells me these are not just, this is not labor, this is a labor of love.
Thank you. It is. These boys have truly inspired it, and I'm so grateful that I can showcase to the Caribbean the diverse superheroes who actually help Santa save Christmas. So it's an amazing opportunity to showcase that children do have a voice, and it's just for us to believe in them and to help them to shine, help them to see those potential in those skills that they have and how we can actually embrace it. So I'm truly honored for this opportunity to share this with you as well.
Indeed. Thank you so much for coming to share it with us. We want to encourage everyone to go onto Amazon today and get to meet the Jag brothers, but get to book Did Santa Wear a Mask? And when you do, you'll see all that we've been talking about in those pages, but it gives you an opportunity to talk to your children face to face, one to one, and to bring out in them the best of humanity. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Chesand Gregory, for talking a little bit more about it, and best of luck with it, and say to the boys good morning. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Have a great morning.
You too. Thank you so very much. We'll take a break and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados. time for us to connect right now with our girl, Dr. Gillian Birchwood, our pediatrician. Good morning to you, Dr. Birchwood.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas.
Listen to me, you created a war. Sinos and Maroles created quite a stir. The number of calls I got at my desk on completion of the show, the number of people who wanted one because it, for them, looked so good. And then for me to share the experience made them even angrier. So, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, my gosh. Well, yeah. So how was your Christmas overall?
It was very good. I was very glad to make it to Christmas afternoon.
As all of us, you know, to be able to roll into the bed a little later on, but it went well. That's good. That's good. So now all the fun and the merriment is over. We're looking forward to a brand new year, but children are still children. We have to deal with them day in, day out. And sometimes when the child is roasting and they have a fever, we are in a spot of bother. Should we be?
Well, you know, fever is a very troubling thing for parents. They get very worried, especially if it's the very first time their child has had a fever. And a fever actually is a good thing. It's a sign that your child's body is fighting an infection. And the reason why a fever helps to fight infection is that it creates an uncomfortable environment for the viruses and bacteria that are attacking the body. So it is actually a good sign, although for many parents, they consider it to be quite alarming.
How can you tell me? You're right. How can you look at me and tell me this child is roasting in my hands and it's a good sign? Well, I just want the fever to come down.
Yes. You know, the reason why it's so alarming is because the child's behavior will often change dramatically when they're having a fever. They may be cranky, you know, they're not themselves, they're not playful, they're not happy. So it's really how the child responds to the fever that can be particularly alarming. So whereas in most cases, a fever is not a sign of anything horrible happening with your child, sometimes, yes, it can be a sign that there's something more going on. But it's not every time. Most times it's just a simple viral illness that isn't anything to worry about.
All right, so what's the good that we can get out of it when the child has this fever?
Well, when the little one has a fever, as I said, one, it is a sign definitely that your child is fighting an infection.
Right.
And so you should feel reassured. Number two, don't panic if they have a fever. If they're cranky and uncomfortable, then you're going to want to bring that temperature down. So it isn't a situation where you should just leave them roasting, because then they'll be uncomfortable, they won't want to drink or eat, and there can be a risk of dehydration. So do bring the temperature down if your child is uncomfortable.
So how do we do that? Because if the child is uncomfortable, it doesn't want me to hold it, to do anything to it. It's just fretful. So how do I get that temperature down? Soak it in water?
Well, you know, there are some things that we can do to treat a fever. One of them is that we can dress the child fairly lightly. We don't want them shivering and miserable either. We don't want to bundle them up so they're sweating, because that can actually make the fever worse. So we should dress them in a way that is sensible for the environment that they're in. The second thing is that we can give them fever medication. Your best first bet is to use something like Panadol, paracetamol, cetamol, Calpol. Those all contain the active ingredient paracetamol. In our environment, using something that contains ibuprofen, which is also called Advil or ibuprofen, is not a good idea as a first resort, because if we have dengue, that can be a concern. The other thing is to be aware that they can become dehydrated because of the high body temperature. And so you want to go out of your way to keep them hydrated, give them extra fluids, more than you would normally offer them. And you can use a lukewarm wet cloth that you can put on their forehead. You're not going to strip them down. You're not going to pour all that alcohol on them as would have been a traditional remedy. You're going to put a lukewarm cloth on their forehead. As that cools off and dries, it's going to help to bring the temperature down. But if your child is happy and just is a little bit warm, you don't have to treat the fever. You can go according to how comfortable they are, really.
So at what point do I now, if the fever is not reducing, at what point do I just rush to my doctor?
Well, if you have a very young child, so a child who's younger than 3 months old, you definitely should not sit at home and say, let me see where this goes. Very young children, their immune system is not fully developed, and so you don't want to be sitting at home when they're beginning to bruise something that can be quite serious. You're also going to be looking at the other things that are going on besides the fever. Do I have a child who's breathing fast, who's breathless? Is my child drinking well? They may not be eating well, that's not so worrisome, but if they're drinking well, you're not going to be too concerned. Are they vomiting? Are they having a really high fever, as in it is 39 degrees Celsius and above? That may not be a benign fever. Are they having a rash? Is your child droopy? And are they having fits or seizures? That is something that will certainly send a parent to the doctor very quickly. But before you show up at your doctor's office, call ahead, because they're going to want to screen for the risk of COVID, and we don't want the other patients to be exposed or the staff. So do call your doctor ahead if your child has a fever and you want them to be seen.
Do you really get seizures and fits from a fever, really?
Well, with very young children who are between 6 months of age and 6 years of age, where their brain is not really fully developed, a rapid change in temperature can actually trigger a seizure or a fit. And so it is the fever, the rapid rise in the temperature that can trigger the seizure. And that is something that's certainly really alarming for a parent to see when your child has a seizure. You know, your child looks like they're going to die. It's very scary to see. Your child will lose consciousness. Their eyes may roll up on their head. They may have jerking movements. They're not going to be responsive. But as scary as it looks, seizures that are triggered by fever are actually harmless, as scary as it looks. You just have to know what to do as a parent if your child does have a seizure when they have a fever.
So what should I do when my child has a seizure because of the fever?
Well, the first thing and the hardest thing is not to panic. Don't panic. So much easier said than done. Many times I've had parents call me to describe a seizure, and my biggest role for them is to calm them down while they're on the phone. You want to put your child in a safe place. So, you know, if they're on top of a bed, you don't want them to roll off because they're moving around with the seizures. You're going to put them in a safe place, on a safe surface. You're going to put them on their side in case they do vomit. You don't want to put anything in their mouth. That is one of the biggest misconceptions. Don't try to put anything in your child's mouth. They will not choke on their tongue. And in fact, you can cause more harm than good. When you're trying to wedge something between teeth that are rigidly clenched together, you can actually damage their teeth. And you also don't want to try and hold them down. It's not going to stop the seizure. And then finally, you're going to want to actually time the seizure. You want to have an idea of how long it's going on for. And if you have the presence of mind, taking a quick video clip can be really helpful, because when you go to the doctor and they see that video clip, they can say, oh yes, this is actually a seizure. And this is a certain type of seizure. It can be very helpful if you have the presence of mind to do that. When it's over, you reach out to your doctor. You want to look at your child. They often take a few minutes to come out of it. And then, you will want to determine how quickly you need to get medical attention. If a seizure is going on for a long time, don't wait. Then you get them down to medical attention.
One of the hardest things to do or not to do is not to hold the child down. You just want to be able to stabilize them. It's really difficult. When those fevers occur, though, and it's happening to that intensity, you're thinking something must be happening in the brain. Is that a fair conclusion?
That is the thing I think that scares parents the most. My child is having a seizure, my child is having fever, they're getting brain damage. Fortunately, that is not true. Seizures associated with fever, once they're brief, they're not prolonged more than a certain amount of time, there's absolutely no risk of brain damage associated with it. Your child's development is not going to be different afterwards. They can run in families, and sometimes you see them happening more than once. And a high fever, just the fever itself, does not cause brain damage, because that's another thing that parents worry about. My child's temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, they're going to have brain damage. Fortunately, that is not true. The height of the fever does not cause brain damage. So parents really should not worry about that.
Okay, so child recovers from the fever, episode 1. 2 weeks later, fever returns. Now, I'm sorry, but I will rush into the doctor this time, because to me, this time between the two seems way too short.
Well, you're going to be at the doctor a lot because when children are in school, when they're in daycare or in school, the parents will tell you it feels like every other week they have a fever.
Yes.
And at first parents will call me, and they'll say, the school called and said the child has a fever. And I'll say, well, have you seen the child yet? No. Okay, so go down to the school, get your child, and then call me and tell me what does your child look like. So once you've been through a few episodes of fever, then you start to relax a little bit more. But if your fever in the child is going on for more than 3 days, they really should get checked. And certainly the very young children, you're not going to wait and see what's happening, or very high fever. But if they have fever this week, a couple of weeks go by, they have fever again, it's quite likely that they would have picked up yet another viral infection, which is so common. But now in the time of COVID, we have to be a bit more careful that it could be COVID too.
Yes. Great advice as always, fevers in children. Thank you so much, Dr. Bertrand, for, again, another inspiring session. Folks, if you want to know more, you can check out our stream. We've posted it on our Facebook page. You can learn for yourself as well. Do your own research or call Dr. Bertrand. She'll happily guide you through. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us on Morning Barbados. Look forward to next week, Tuesday, should God spare life.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do too. Dr. Gillian Birchwood on Morning Barbados. We're coming back with more after this.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to the work of this young man, a Barbadian boxer. His name is Cobia Breedy. Good morning to you, Cobia.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing today, Mr. Breedy?
Doing great, I'm doing excellent.
Oh, that's great to hear. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was great, My Christmas was awesome,
Wow.
Me and my we came to Barbados and do a little give back to the homeless shelter, to my old school, to the boxing gyms, just giving back to the community.
Wow, that's great. Is this something you normally would do?
No, this is normal, but it's going to be a normal right now. For me and my team, we plan to do this every year. That's what we want to do. We want to give back.
That's fantastic. So what is it that inspired you this year to give back in the ways and to who you have?
Man, it was just a team effort between me and my team. We both just came together, and since I was doing great in boxing, doing a lot of good things over there, repping the Barbados flag. Unfortunately, I was going to fight for the WBC in the Continental belt, and everybody in Barbados watched it, and the headbutt happened. So we just wanted to come back and give back. And we want to run it back again. February 19th, I'll be fighting for the WBC Continental belt. Hopefully, Barbados CBC area again. So we get ready for that.
Well, you have the full support of Barbados as we had last time. So you're looking forward to this.
Yes.
Is in February coming up. How have preparations been going for you so far?
Well, right now I'm supposed to be on vacation, right? But as a boxer, I'm never on vacation. I always in the gym. So I want to give a to some people, fight Barbados for letting me use the gym and the kids and everything, Gary Gym, the Barbados Boxing Association, everybody, all the athletes and the young up and coming boxers gave me some good work while I was going ready, keeping me in shape. So when I come back to Washington DC, I'll be ready for February 19th. And I also want to shout out Sandon Villa for my stay here. People here are very nice. I want to give everybody one shout out my coach. And I definitely want to shout out everybody in Barbados and want to everybody Merry Christmas.
Indeed, that's beautiful. But just out of curiosity, because you're going up, you're fighting overseas. What do you have to do to get your body ready for this fight? What do you have to do?
Man, I was in the BDS sports program, right? So my boxing name is just Soldier. So during my coaches always tell me we going to war, right? And you know, you go to war, you go to the desert, you ain't nothing to eat. You just go figure it out. So that's
Yes.
basically we training in the trenches. We doing everything, whatever for us, win the fight and dominate.
So it's mental, mostly. Cobia? Well, let's see if we get that resolved. Cobia,
Yeah,
I was asking if it's your preparation, is it mostly mental or is it also mental and physical?
it's both mental, physical, um, no distractions, away from family. It's
Uh-huh.
very hard, but it's something I love to do. You know, I know I left Barbados doing boxing, and I want to thank my coach Flo and his family. I want to show my family protecting me and believing
Yes.
in me,
Yes.
dreams. Because I'm from Barbados. I come from this rock right here, and for me to leave here and go to another country and be successful and being great and got a lot to go and try to make history for my country is amazing.
Is Tiger Malt permitted for you to drink in preparation?
Listen, since I've been to Barbados, I had to get. My coach tell me you can pause and wait because you have my. I drink plus vitamin, tea time biscuit, all that. I gotta get like a bike.
I can see the bottle there on the ledge. That's why I asked that question. Now, who is it that you're fighting in February?
I'm fighting the same guy, Suleiman Sigawa from Ghana.
Mhm.
Uh, we was just waiting for somebody to, because we was going through. I want to shout out Rising Star Promotions for making it happen, for giving me the opportunity again to host this card and be the main event. I would definitely want to shout them out. Um, yeah, I want to show my Derek over there with TMT, for putting all this together. But the same guy, because of the headbutt, we all figured we was going to, if he going to take the rematch, if he going to take the fight back, or I will have to find me another opponent.
Mhm.
But he finally asked that he want to fight me again. So February 19th, we back in action. We going down.
February,
Bring his belt back.
February the 19th is when we will all be watching you, Mr. Breedy, once again. And we want you to win, Mr. Breedy. So because now you know him better. You fought him before.
Yeah, yeah, man. When you
So
fight, you ever gotta fight people twice? You never. When you fight people greedy, when you fight Georgia once and you ain't gonna win, the second time is worse.
there, see, you fighting the soldier. I love it. We'll keep people posted, of course, Colby, of your journey thus far. And of course, when February 19th, if it be God's will, and we're all here, we will be supporting you. So stay in touch. Let us know what's going on, and so that we can let everybody know what's going on in your preparation lead up to the big fight. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Colby. All the best indeed.
All right.
Cobia Breedy, his name, Barbadian boxer. He's heading out to his next bout in February, on the 19th of February, as a matter of fact. And we'll be reminding you how you can lend your support as well right here. But he's just come off an awesome Christmas, he says, in a big give back to his alma mater. He's given back to the Barbados Vegas Homeless Society. He's given to a whole number of people because he just wants to. He wants to say thank you for your support. And we, to him, say thank you too for your generosity. We're coming back with Thornwood right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
To the hour of 8 o'clock as we get ready for our fitness and we get ready too to welcome a brand new year, hopefully with a fitter self. And so joining us this morning, of course, to keep us focused on all of this is Mr. Thornwood, Mr. Caliphate 246. Caliphate 246 Thornwood, good morning.
Hey, morning, person. You get me today. I had to be at the gym early.
And I'm so glad I got away
had a couple
today.
things to take care of. All right. We'll get you next week, though. We'll get you next week. So, as you guys can see, we're in this space. Come down anytime that you're available. Come and see what it's like. First, I think what we got to do, we got to get the team down here and get you doing an actual session because they've still been asking me for that.
Well,
right?
then, you know my people. Talk to my people and see what we can work out.
And see what we can work out. Correct. So what we're going to do today, going back over from last week, like I said, we did like a micro launch in-house, and as the response has been fantastic in terms of people coming on board and using these services. We've actually added manicures and pedicures because that was a request to have on our repertoire. So, and we've also added pole dance. So you guys can check us out. Just going to plug that early. You guys can check us out on Instagram at inhouse.bb or send us an email at inhousebb@gmail.com. So right off the bat, well, that was actually since we've been speaking to Breedy just now.
Yes.
Last time, I don't know if you remember, we had Zen and Jabali on there.
Yes.
Jabali's also leaving, but we're actually filming like a cinematic thing today at 2 p.m. For you guys to see next week. So that should be exciting to showcase to you guys, right? So I'll start with the Mythbuster first. People were asking me, is it? I don't know, it's Christmas time and people like to indulge, and they're asking basically, is it okay to consume, 6 or 7 soft drinks in a day daily? And I know some of these questions are like, for kicks, but generally we know that's a no. We definitely know that's a no. That is not okay. Do not be doing that every day. I wouldn't even say do it as a one-off, but sometimes we can get caught up with drinking. Let me move you guys out of the light a little bit. I know sometimes you can get caught up with drinking these things or consuming these things without even recognizing that that's something that we're doing, and we're consuming 4 or 5, 6 because of the serving size. You know what I mean? You take one bottle, you have a drink, and you tell yourself, okay, well that's not too bad. And then before you know it, lunch comes, you have another, and then dinner time comes, you have another, and then before you know, you have 4, 5, 6, and you don't realize. So again, where that is concerned, try as much as possible to mitigate that by just being a little more conscious with what you're consuming in your body and how much of at any given time. So I want you to tell me, Pearson, how many drinks you think you had for the Christmas season so far?
I can tell you how many bottles of water I've had for the Christmas season thus far. You want to answer? I know you know what that answer. No, I've really tried hard.
Come on.
I'm being honest, I've really tried hard over the Christmas holiday not to consume a lot of sugar in terms of drink, for sure. So at Christmas lunch, for instance, I had water. I had just a glass of sorrel and water. And that kept me right through the day. Yeah, that was me. Shocking, right?
You have one glass of sorrel and water for the entire Christmas season.
Indeed. That's what I had. 1 glass of sorrel and bottles of water because I wanted to consume water. And so that's what I did for Christmas Day.
So Pearson, one cup of sorrel. I didn't even have 1 cup of sorrel for the Christmas season.
Well, that's your fault, not mine. But I had 1.
So next thing we're going to talk about is setting goals for the New Year's season. Because I know everybody does that. It's after Christmas time comes, everybody's making these huge plans, and they go, yeah, this year is my year. This is the year I want to get into that. I don't know, size 5, size 3, size 1 dress, anything like that. And I just want to say to you guys, that is fantastic. That's beautiful. That's wonderful to set a goal like that. But you need to scale it back. Build a ladder towards that large goal. And I always say this every single time. So because when you set that huge goal and usually when you fall off without making it, then you become disappointed and you become disgruntled or you feel like you can no longer do it anymore, and then you create these ideas in your brain, well, fitness is not for me, or I can't really go to the gym and that kind of stuff. And it's really not about that. It's about setting things that are manageable that you can achieve each and every single time so you can feel good about yourself. So maybe you want to lose 50 pounds. Let's say in week 1 and week 2, which is very possible, let's try losing 5, or let's try losing 4. You know what I mean? Let's try changing eating habits first. Let's try changing drinking habits. So then you get those small wins each and every single time that encourage you to go further and further. You create kind of like a locomotion or like a snowball effect with everything happening. So that by the time you get to your goal, it doesn't feel like such an uphill battle, because you would have had all these small wins going forward each and every single time.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, as a matter of fact. So break it down into little portions, folks. You know, take your time to achieve the goal. Don't try to rush to it, because in rushing to one, you can hurt yourself. So you will be totally demotivated because you feel as though you're achieving nothing, but you want to be able to encourage you to make it a lifestyle change. That's what we're talking about. But doing it slowly, and in time, you will see the big difference.
Correct. So, Pearson, tell me, what are your New Year's goals? You gotta tell us.
Where fitness is concerned?
Where fitness is concerned, of course.
Oh, just asking. That's a good question. You know, I have to work on the torso. This area right here needs a little bit of reduction, and I'm going to need to work on that. I know, but that's not one area I can work exclusively. You would tell me you have to do a whole body workout.
Yes, I mean, you use your body every day. So I've met people before who said, I only want to work on my upper body. I don't want to focus on my legs. And I'm like, you use your legs every day. Your body needs exercise. You can't just choose to isolate a certain part. However, you can get sport specific. So, for instance, somebody like a footballer, like their regimen is not going to look the same way as somebody who's like a swimmer, for obvious reasons, because the focus is different. So getting sport specific is completely different than you saying, oh, well, I don't want to train my arms because like arms just feel too hard, arms not for me, or like the one that you get with like a lot of females who come to the gym, well, I don't want to train arms because my arms get too big and I'm going to look like a man. And it is, again, I say this every time, it is like big shout out to all those female bodybuilders out there. That is a lot. Before you can get to that level, that is a lot of hard work and dedication to build that type of muscle. Because as a female, you're literally designed to look like smooth over and have this sheen of fat over your body to make you look nice and sleek and feminine, right? So you can't. It doesn't happen like that. You don't look like a man. Like in my opinion, they don't look like men. They just look completely athletic.
Right. So, Thorne, we have seconds now. Remind us of the in-house program, how we can... seconds. We have mere seconds. How can we, again, be a part of the in-house program?
Again, new program. You can reach us at Instagram, inhouse.bb, or email, inhousebb@gmail.com. It's a full wellness service. Our schedule is your schedule. You can reach us at a phone call, or that's on the Instagram page as well. We have boxing, personal training, group exercise, yoga, pole dance, manicures and pedicures. The list goes on because we have massage therapy, physiotherapy. The list goes on because people are making requests. Everybody's not always wanting to go into the gym, and then you have that personal time. Your own space, and you have you have that one-on-one. So we're making personal training even more personal.
Yes, I love it.
So
I love it.
So
Thorne, we gotta leave it there,
see
buddy.
you guys next week.
Yes, indeed. Thanks a lot. Thorne Wood, he's on location. He's reminding you to get into the in-house program. They can come to you at your convenience, at your location as well. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. For our little production crew, Nadia Foster, my producer today, Roel Ford, our technical director, Michael Sobers, our sound engineer, Tamisha Green is at Master Control. I'm Pearson Bowen. Looking forward to see you again tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning.